Well, Merry Christmas. Mr. Brackman here. And the book that I'm going to read to you today is Mr. Willowby's Christmas Tree. And it's written by Robert Barry. Mr. Willowby's Christmas Tree. Mr. Willowby's Christmas tree came by special delivery, full and fresh and glistening green, the biggest tree he'd ever seen. Here's a picture. You can see there's Mr. Willowby up there, and here comes the Christmas tree. He dashed downstairs to open the door. This was the moment he had waited for. A magnificent tree. Splendid, he cried. Please, sir, won't you carry it right inside? And here's Mr. Willowby. He's all excited, and here's the helper bringing the tree in, and Mr. Willowby supervising. I think it might look best this year right in the parlor corner here. And here they are. They're bringing the tree in, knocking over this plant. Mr. Willowby's all excited. But once the tree stood in its place, Mr. Willowby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling, then bent like a bow. Oh, good heavens, he gasped. Something must go. And look, here's the tree, and it's bending at the top. It's touching the roof. And here's the man trying to put it together. Mr. Willowby's all upset. Baxter the butler was called on in haste to chop off the top, though it seemed quite a waste. That's great, Mr. Willowby cried with glee. Now we can start to trim my tree. When the trimming was well underway, the top was placed on a silver tray. Baxter said, I know just who'd be delighted with this Christmas tree. So it was presented to Miss Adeline, Mr. Willowby's upstairs maid. And here she is. She's getting the tree. Here's the butler taking it up after he's chopped the top off. Mr. Willowby's all excited. Won't this tree be a pretty sight when I've trimmed it later tonight? But the top, oh dear, I'm so afraid this will have to be cut, said Miss Adelaide. And look, she has it in her room. It's punching up on the ceiling. And so with scissors sharp and long, she snipped off the top while she hummed a song. The top was set out the very next day in back of the house to be thrown away. So here's Miss Adelaide. She's cut the top off. Here it is in the trash. And we're moving on. That little treetop caught the eye of Tim the gardener passing by. He certainly was not about to see this little tree thrown out. And there he is. The tree's in the trash. Here comes Tim the gardener. He's got a little wheelbarrow. I wonder what's going to happen next. He hurried home straight away to see what Mrs. Tim would say. Fa la la, surprise, surprise. His wife could not believe her eyes. But our house, she said, is so snug and small. I do not believe we need it all. I bet you can figure out what's going to happen next. And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut off the top and threw it out. So here's Mrs. Tim. She says, oh, I don't know about the tree. And here she is, and she's throwing the little piece of the tree out the window. Barnaby Bear was passing by. It almost hit him in the eye. Now who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? I'll take it home, that's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I have a present for you. And here he sees the tree. He's taking it home to Mama Bear, holding it up. He's very excited. Isn't it a pretty tree? Yarned Barnaby quite drowsily. But Little Bear, standing off far, cried out, the tree won't hold a star. Well, you know why, too. The tree's too big for their little house. It's bumping up against the ceiling. And there's the little bear saying, hey, we got to get something up on top there. Barnaby Bear, let's cut a hunk off the bottom here at the trunk. But Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the treetop off instead. So here he's going to cut from the bottom, and she's like, no, we'll just whack the top off. And there's the top right there. Jolly by golly, Barnaby said with a kick. Mama, that surely is just the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel, and popcorn on strings. And oh, look, they're all excited. They're having a good time. Even Baby Bear's excited. And there's the piece that she chopped off. Mama said, trim it just as you like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top we don't need anymore. I'll put it outside the door. I bet you're wondering who's going to find it next. Later on that frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight. He spied the treetop. He rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuffed the top in. And there he is. There's the fox. He sees the little treetop the bears threw out. He scampered home and jumped his gate. This Christmas present couldn't wait. It's even better than mincemeat pie, said Mrs. Fox with a happy sigh. Oh, look how excited she is that he's dumping the tree out of his little bag. Then the foxes saw that their Christmas prize was just a wee bit oversized. And look, in their house, it's bumping on the ceiling here. I bet you know what's going to happen next. There, my dears, don't you worry. I'll fix the top now in a hurry. And look, Mama Bear, she got some scissors out and whacked the top off of that tree. Tree's getting smaller and smaller. Benjamin Rabbit found it then just outside the fox's den. It seems he thought, most certainly, Santa left that for my family. Look, he cried, see the tree I found. With that, he called his family round. Then there was a merry-making, rollicking, frolicking, carrot-shaking celebration around the tree. All were as happy as rabbits can be. I think my cat's happy too. Look at them. They're all excited about the little Christmas tree. Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot to make a Christmas tree stand. Now let's see how this will look on our little chimney nook. But right away the children cried, look, it's leaning off to one side. See it right there? It's kind of bent at the top. It's too tall, that's all, said Mrs. Rabbit, and as though it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw away the top. Oh my goodness. Well, guess what? Then Mistletoe Mouse just happened to see the tiny tip of the Christmas tree. He pulled it through the snow and ice, up some stairs. He fell down twice. And here he is. He's found the little tip, and there he goes with it. At last he reached his cozy house, just the right size, said Mrs. Mouse. Then at the top, if you please, let's put a star made out of cheese. And there it is. There's the star made out of cheese. All the mouse family is happy with the little tiny top. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willowby. And here's Mr. Willowby in his chair. His tree's all fixed up. And here's the mice, and they now have their little tree. I bet you Mr. Willowby never thought that when he chopped the top of his tree off, he would help the mouse in his house have a special Christmas. I hope you have a Merry Christmas too. I hope you enjoyed Mr. Willowby's Christmas tree, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.